Nah, I ain't gonna front, real man shit.
Let's talk about it.
I'm glad the brother got his freedom.
Right.
Shouts to Max.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Fan of his music. He on Survival. He actually on my first album.
Aight, so picture this. The conversation starts light. Folks talking about a party, nothing major, just New York energy, good people, good music, the type of celebration you see when legends touch home turf. But the moment Max B's name enters the air, the whole room shifted.
You felt one way, I felt another way.
Right.
You went to the party, but you had already had a conversation in Cabo. Talk about that.
Yeah, I feel like I never was around him, Max.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but we had our own relationship through.
You could feel it like a wave rolling back in from a long distance, because when Max and Harlem get mentioned in the same sentence, history walks in the door too. But here's the wild part.
But yeah, I'm glad I got to go, poly with him.
So it was a lot of talk on the internet about...
They told me I was kicked off of this.
The internet took that party and spun the block like it was a scandal. People online talking reckless, like who invited who? Was Jim Jones there? Was Dave East supposed to be there?
I heard some shit about you. Heard some shit about you on the internet.
About me too, man.
I heard you got kicked. What they say?
Got that horsepower,
baby. That's the name of the bigger valve. I use it myself.
Yeah, they did. He said you was there. He said you was out. I didn't even remember. This is crazy. That's what they told me. He said he was out. The internet kicked you off.
I can't rap about it no more.
But people don't know.
They turned a simple moment into a fictional war room, and you could feel the tension, not in the actual party, but on the timeline. The net tried rewriting Harlem's narrative off assumptions, off pixels, off imagination, and then things take a turn. Dave East steps in and brings the truth. He lays it down. He's always respected Max B. That ain't new. That musical connection, it's real. Max was moving different back.
Man, this whole situation looking wild right now. This gotta be either the smartest podcast rollout ever, or somebody working at the Let's Rap About It podcast is packing their desk tonight. There ain't no way this wasn't planned out, because the timing is just too crazy. Last week, after Mino refused to pull up to Max B's welcome home party out of respect for his bond with Jim Jones, the internet started buzzing heavy. But then the next day, Dave East popped up at Max's dinner like it was nothing, smiling and chilling like the room wasn't filled with tension. That alone had the streets talking loud. Some folks jumped online saying Dave East was moving disloyal, while others
in the day carving a whole wave out of thin air, hooks nobody could mimic, swagger nobody could duplicate. That Bigavelli energy had the city hypnotized. East grew up on that, honored that, stood on that. But now here's where it gets spicy. East also says something people don't want to hear. Before I showed up anywhere, I called Jim.
Keep in mind that what I'm doing is for my era of music, you heard? It's a blessing that I'm still here and I'm still being able to be appreciated by the youth and the younger generation coming up. That's a super blessing right there. But when it comes to the people of my era, I want smoke. You dig? Whether they're active or inactive, I'm telling them, I want smoke. You heard? Don't care about no legendary status, none of that type of shit. None of that shit works on the street, bro. I want smoke in the booth. You heard? Who want that? Let's talk about that right now. Who want to meet me in the booth? You heard? We even gotta come to the same studio. Let's be in the same building. You take A room, I take the B room. You heard? Just to make everybody feel comfortable. But I want smoke in the booth.
And you know why? Because Jim Jones ain't just another Harlem name. Jim was mentorship. Jim was opportunity. Jim was the guy who pulled East into certain rooms early in his career. Loyalty like that, you don't just act without giving your man a heads up. That's Harlem principle. That's family protocol. So while the internet tried to paint it like East picked Max or crossed Jim, the truth is the opposite.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an entrepreneur.
You're an entrepreneur? What's your name, man?
Max Bigger Valve, New York's finest. What's going on, brother?
You make music?
I make everything. I manufacture. I'm a manufacturer. I got the factories. Like Henry Ford out this month.
Henry Ford?
Yeah.
What's next for you? What are you working on right now?
I'm working on the Purge. I'm working on a few other things. I'm working on the Coke Wave Narcos. I'm working on treats to come. Stay tuned.
What's one piece of advice you give to somebody watching this video who wants to do something similar to you?
Keep working, man. Put your head down. Keep pushing. Keep running. Don't complain. Max Bigger Val. Signing out.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right.
Have a good one.
Good.
Yes, sir.
East honored both. He respected Max enough to support him. He respected Jim enough to call him. That's grown man diplomacy, Harlem style. This hit different because Max B and Jim Jones ain't no small topic. Their history runs deep and the city knows it. So when Dave East stepped into that space,
You don't always have to have the same opinion, but right? I felt like because of the relationship I didn't build with Cap over the last 5 or 6 years, that I just felt like it wasn't in me to go stand next to anybody he had an issue with or whatever, because the relationship is strong and it's past.
he didn't move reckless. He moved with integrity and the whole city watching. Now the temperature rises because when Dave East starts breaking down what loyalty means to him, Max and Jim are at the heart of that conversation. Not in a messy way, not in a respectful, layered Harlem history way. Here's where things get spicy. East says it plain. Jim Jones isn't just cool with him. Jim is someone who vouched for him early, someone whose cosign carried weight, someone who opened doors when East was still grinding heavy. And in Harlem, that ain't small. That's lineage, that's mentorship, that's a stamp you honor for life. So before East popped up anywhere near Max B, he tapped in with the man who helped him come up. That's not picking sides. That's honoring the people who invested in you. Real street principles. Transparency over secrecy. Respect over assumption.
At the Jets game.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Now, Mano, you were there, and people were believing that y'all went together.
Right. Absolutely not. I didn't even see him. People got to understand it's an 80,000 stadium.
You know, and the reason why it was such a big deal is because you have
because I
let's
said,
rap about it with Jim Jones.
Right. Understand that I got a relationship with him. So my whole thing is this: I really understand that I don't come from the same world a lot of people come from. If I got a relationship with you that extends past professionalism and it's personal, I'm at your home and I know your parents, right? I just don't feel right if you at odds with somebody else, right? Knowing that we got a personal relationship, going out my way to go congregate or party with them, right? Now, that's a choice. Seeing them somewhere else is not, right? Because two things can be true at the same time. I can respect my relationship that I got with you, but at the same time, it don't mean no disrespect to somebody else. It means that I'm just clear on where I stand.
So would you have taken a picture if y'all did run into each other?
I mean, I can't say that, right? Because the truth of the matter is it didn't happen, right? That man just gave back 75 years, so that should be the narrative, not a made up narrative about a football game. And
Method Man was there too, by the way. He's the photographer.
He was the cameraman.
Crazy.
And my choice in my relationship, see, this is what I'm saying. If my relationship with you is more than professional, then I'm gonna respect my relationship. That's just.
But the tension, the history, the layers, all of that comes from the fact that Max B and Jim Jones have one of the deepest, most complicated relationships in New York hip-hop history. And then things take a turn. Because Max B wasn't just any artist, he was Jim's right hand at one point. They built heat together, they cooked classics together. That Bird Gang era, that early wave era, those records still echo through Harlem blocks today. They birthed an entire sound, melodies, aggression, charm, hooks that lived forever. But success brings friction. Friction brings distance. And distance, it lasts. Yet East refuses to exploit that or let fans turn it into some circus. He says it respectfully.
I gotta holler at Capo. Like, yo, bro, how you feel about that? Because I got invited. Directly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm gonna definitely have that convo with bro before I just pop up and he gotta hear about it. That's just me.
No, it's definitely honoring that, bro. And I think, like I was saying, like me and Fad was talking earlier, as individual men.
I'm not choosing Max over Jim or Jim over Max. I respect both. I move with integrity. And that hits different because the internet always wants it messy, always wants the drama, always wants to force the question, whose side are you on? But East answers like an OG. He's on the side of respect. on the side of principles, on the side of Harlem unity, even if it's still a work in progress. He talks about Jim giving him structure. He talks about Max inspiring his artistry. He talks about how both had impact. One personal, one musical. He says, stop acting like you understand their relationship better than they do. And that hit the room hard, because Max and Jim's situation is their situation, not the internet, not the fans, not the blogs. It's personal history between two Harlem giants. Only they can define it or address it. The panel nods because they know the truth. New York's biggest obstacles always come from outsiders fanning flames. And then things take a turn again. They talk about how the new generation doesn't want to inherit beef from a past era. They want collaborations. They want movement. They want progression. East represents that new code. Respect the old, honor the history, but don't be chained to the past. And you could feel the room shift again.